Welcome back. The South African International Tattoo Convention is a three-day event that hosts over 140 of the world's best tattooers from over 20 countries, giving you the chance to get tattooed by expert local and international artists specializing in a large variety of styles. This event will be held in Johannesburg at the First Fox Road in Newtown from the 24th to the 26th of March, and then moves to the V&A Waterfront in Cape Town on the 31st of March until the 2nd of April. Joining us via Zoom this morning, we have the organizer of the event, Romy van Tonder, and tattoo artist plus owner of Cape Electric Tattoo, Waldo Del Rocca. Very good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome.
Morning. Thanks for having us.
Morning.
Great stuff. Good to have you on the show this morning. Waldo, I'm going to start with you. When did you start being a tattoo artist? I mean, what did you study?
Well, to be honest, I didn't actually study. I did an apprenticeship through another tattoo shop, which lasted a couple of years, and I've been tattooing now professionally for about 12 years. Okay.
And what's the easiest tattoo style to learn?
I wouldn't say there's any easy tattoo style to learn. The thing is with tattooing, at the end of the day, if you're an artist, tattooing is just a different medium. It's a little bit more of a technical medium. But if you have the art ability and some technical application skill, then it is a craft that is trainable, that is learnable.
Okay. Now, Romy, what's this convention about? Just take us through it.
So we put together an experience for 3 days where people can obviously come and learn more about the culture of tattooing. There is a focus on seeing art from all these tattooers. So people, the main intention would be to come there, see work from artists from all over the world that you don't necessarily get to see in your hometown, you know, when the convention isn't happening. So the idea is then to come and explore tattooing. Like you said earlier, there's a huge variety of people, artists that specialize in different types and styles of tattooing, and they exhibit their work. They display a lot of their art and paintings and what they would call a flash book, which is drawings that they do. And then they also will be tattooing, as you can see in the pictures. You can then walk up and come and get tattooed at the convention. From an artist perspective, you know, that was more from a public perspective, but from an art perspective, it's just a really amazing place where, like you said, you know, it's actually it's grown. It's 180 tattooers across the two events where these artists can share with each other. And it's just a really amazing creative community that has grown a lot, you know.
Yeah. And speaking of which, I want us to analyze the state of the industry here in South Africa. Are you seeing, you know, an uptick in terms of the level of interest in this industry, people joining this industry, both as tattoo artists or as those consumers of tattoos, as it were? Have you seen a growth in this industry?
Yes, definitely. I think generally, I mean, the world is becoming a bit more conscious. People are able to express themselves more freely, and along with that has come definitely a growth in people being more self-expressive and being accepted in that way by industries. And I think that's definitely given people the freedom to get tattooed and to be more explore more bigger tattoos or more visible tattoos. Whereas if, you know, especially in South Africa, there's definitely been a mental shift from the public as well as sort of industries, and that's allowed people to, or the community to definitely grow and more people to get tattooed. So yes, definitely.
All right. Now, Waldo, in terms of, you know, the reasons why people do tattoos, is it purely for religious purposes, cultural practices, or is it simply an act of self-expression?
Oh, it's all of the above mentioned. People get tattooed for self-expression, obviously. People like to kind of cut themselves from the cloth and express their individuality. Then there's religious reasons, there is cultural reasons. It's not limited. Every person has their own reason for getting tattooed, which makes it such a amazing mix of people, and especially with art being tattooing being a form of art and expression.
So for those who want to get tattoos, but have always been hearing stories about getting a tattoo being excruciatingly painful, is that a fact, or is it just an exaggeration?
It depends on where you're getting the tattoo. Tattoos do hurt. There's no way in this world that a needle breaking your skin is not going to hurt, but it's a very superficial wound, so it doesn't go beyond and past the actual third, fourth membrane of the skin. So it's bearable. It's not always pleasant, but it's definitely bearable.
Yeah, and speaking of which, you just said it depends on where you do the tattoo. I mean, I've seen some people on their faces. I mean, the forehead, for instance, doesn't have much flesh. It's only skin. So how then do you know how deeper to go when you tattoo?
Well, that's the thing. Like I mentioned, the needle doesn't go beyond the skin. It doesn't go deeper as the skin. So even with it just being skin on your head or your neck or your forehead, I think that's the technical side of it, how you regulate the depth of the needle while you're tattooing.
So you guys still haven't found a mechanism of removing the tattoos? Should I change my mind about, having a tattoo?
No, there's definitely ways of removing a tattoo. It's a form called, obviously, laser removal. Which basically breaks up the pigment under the skin and the body reabsorbs it. There is obviously a chance of scarring, but the Swiss have perfected this form in a sense with laser removal. The laser machines from Switzerland is phenomenal quality and really well advanced, but the problem is the cost of them. So I think there might be a couple in the whole country. There are other people that have that do laser removal and dermatologists that have amazing machines, and we've seen fantastic results. But the thing with this is that it's also different from one person to the next. Same as tattooing reacts to some people's skin or scarring one person to the next.
And the reason I'm asking, Waldo, is that, if I've tattooed the name of my ex and then we break up, and I don't want to be stuck with that name forever. Now, Romy, what are some of the do's and the don'ts that people need to know before coming in for a tattoo?
I think that, well, from an organization perspective, we want to educate the public to understand what a tattoo convention is about. And the first thing is that people can just come and get tattooed. I think that's a big thing that people maybe don't understand, especially in South Africa, where it's a little bit of, like we were saying earlier, communities are not as tattooed. So they think, oh, we've got to think about it for 6 weeks and we've got to, we can't just go and pick something to get tattooed or speak to the artist to draw me something on the spot. A convention is exactly that. You have these artists that are traveling very far and they're only here for 3 days. So the idea is to come in, walk into the event, browse, find someone whose work firstly you resonate with. So that's a big do. Find someone whose stuff you naturally love, that there's already an appreciation for the person's work. And then you can get them to draw something that is already in line with the style. It's like any artist. You're not going to buy an artist style an artist painting if you don't love the artistic way or the way that they make their art. So I would say that's a big one. And then of course, a tattoo is a permanent thing. So just think about what it is that you want, and ideally, don't just get anything for the sake of getting a tattoo. Make sure that you're certain that you absolutely love this piece of artwork and that you want to have it, and that would be a big do. Well, a don't. Just don't do it like highly impulsively and then regret it.
Okay. No,
I don't know.
We're out of time, unfortunately. We're out of time, unfortunately. But then those wanting to participate in this convention, how do they go about registering?
Do you mean artists or guests? From the public?
Well, as a guest to be a part of the convention, yeah.
Well, if you're a public member, you literally just, we're at One Fox on the dates that you mentioned. We're in the lookout. You can either buy a ticket online at Web Tickets or via our website, or you could just show up at the door, buy a ticket and head on in. Okay.
All right, Romy and Waldo, great chatting to you too. Thank you so much for joining us.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Great stuff. Thank you. All right, the South African International Tattoo Convention will be hosting a locally oriented show in Johannesburg and Cape Town. We just spoke to Romy van Tonder and as well as Waldo Del Rocca. All right, this is Morning Live. Let's take a quick break. We'll be back in a moment.